Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In this video, Lyn Alden and Preston Pysh delve into the transformative elements of Bitcoin, spotlighting instant settlements and decentralized ledgers. Lyn emphasizes Bitcoin's revolutionary potential in settling final value swiftly, challenging historical norms where settlements lagged behind fast transactions. The duo also explores the groundbreaking concept of a decentralized ledger, highlighting Bitcoin's resilience against centralized control and its potential to redefine the financial landscape.
So as we look at this new innovation, Bitcoin, blockchains, all of this, what is this enabling that has never been, like, truly at the essence and first principles? What is that enabling that hasn't been able to be enabled historically?
I would say two things. One would be instant settlements. And so throughout human history, information and material could only move as fast as humans. So, you can't, 1,000 years ago, Europe and China could not instantly send information or value to each other. You had to move along the Silk Road to do it. And ever since the invention of the telegraph, and specifically the deployment of the telegraph throughout the 1850s, 1860s, and globally by the early 20th century, we've had the ability to send information around the world instantly, which includes transaction agreements, whereas, of course, physical settlement of precious metals and other value can only happen at the speed of matter, transportation, and more importantly, not just transporting it, but also authentifying it, basically, all the logistics of securing and authenticating that value. And, once we had more bandwidth, once we had more complex encryption, once we had more complex organizational structures, what the invention of Bitcoin is, in a way, is the first introduction of a credible way to settle final value nearly as quickly as we can do transactions. And so the first period of human history was everything slow. And then the period of history from the telegraph up till right before Bitcoin was transactions are fast, but settlements are slow. And post-Bitcoin, we're in a world where final value is fast as well. So transactions and settlements can all move roughly at the speed of light. The second thing, I think, is the ability to build a credibly decentralized ledger. So, until this point, any ledger, that is controlled by humans is centralized. So, a central bank runs the monetary ledger for their country, for example. A bank runs the ledger for their clients, and we basically build ourselves with a hierarchy of ledgers. So there's like smaller ledgers built on top of bigger ledgers, and at the foundation is the central bank. And it's just a centrally controlled ledger where they get to determine how many units there are. They can determine who gets to use those units. They could take units from some others. They could redeploy those units. And they can double the amount of units. They can triple the amount of units. They can cut the number of units in half. And what Bitcoin is interesting is that it's a ledger, but no single entity is in control of that ledger unless they're willing and able to expend so much physical resources that they can control, the majority of the hash rate. And even then, they're still stuck by the rules of the nodes, which are themselves decentralized as well. And so it's very hard to gain even partial control over the ledger, and it's nearly impossible to gain complete control over the ledger. So it's easier to censor transactions than it is to make more Bitcoin, for example. But that's what this kind of represents. It's a way for humanity to have a credible, scarce unit ledger system backed by energy and backed by encryption, and essentially controlled by a more distributed set of users rather than, say, 12 people at the Federal Reserve.
So, what do you think about this Bitcoin discussion? Do you agree with Lyn's arguments? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, keep learning and keep stacking.